Hey y'all, this is Greg Christensen here at Grandview Livestock. Hey, I don't talk about our cattle very often or very much. Most of y'all tune in for the goats and maybe the sheep. Once in a while I'll talk about the crops we're planting. But I did want to mention here about cattle. Maybe it's been in the news a little bit lately, or you went to the grocery store and found that there wasn't as much meat on the counter as there used to be, or maybe it's a little more expensive than you're used to paying, and wondered what was going on. Well, if you haven't already read on social media or heard, it's not because there's not enough cattle in the country or livestock, hogs or anything. It's, well, there's really four major packers that slaughter beef in the United States. Tyson's one of them. I know you thought Tyson just did chicken. No, Tyson does chicken. They do pork. Matter of fact, they do pork. Their major competitor in pork is a Chinese company called Smithfield Farms that raises and also slaughters pork in the United States. And then Tyson also does beef. They have slaughter plants. And then you got Cargill, another American company. Cargill is a big conglomerate. They've got businesses all over the globe. They're in the grain, soybean meal. I sell some of my soybeans to Cargill in Kansas City. They also have cattle and feedlots. They also have slaughter plants. So Cargill buys my soybeans from me, and then they make soybean meal. Then anybody that feeds out cattle, sheep, hogs, chickens has to buy soybean meal, so they sell it back to them. And then they have to get those animals processed, so they sell them back to Cargill. Cargill processes them and gets them on the grocery store shelves. Pretty good racket if you ask me, but I guess there could be to be commended for figuring that out. Then you got two other ones. Trying to think. One of them's JBS. The other one I can't think of the name of it right off, but they're both Brazilian companies. The people that own them are out of Brazil. Two brothers own JBS. They've been in and out of jail in Brazil for various things. So that's our four packers, guys. So when the COVID-19 hit, in packing plants, it's very hard to stay 6 foot away from each other, I guess you'd say. And many of the plants had COVID-19 going through them. Some had to shut down. Some shut down just for the sake of driving the beef prices up. It's all being looked into by the government, but there's enough beef out here. It's just not enough being processed right now. What's happened then is the local sale barns or places where people would sell animals like these you're looking at, they're not getting the buyers in there because those buyers don't have any place to take the beef to be slaughtered. See, because a lot of those places have shut down. So, or they're at half capacity or even less. Well, so, you know, an animal that would normally bring $1.20, $1.50 a pound might be bringing 80, 90 cents. See, and they're not bidding them up. So they're out here on farms, ranches, but you can still purchase meat. Yeah, you might go to the grocery store and there's not much meat on the counter, but if you know somebody, I mean, surely you know somebody or know somebody that knows somebody that raises livestock. Those animals are still out here. You know, just like these you're looking at, they're being fed by local producers and waiting on local buyers. And right now it's very hard to get a slaughter date because all these smaller slaughter plants around are booked up. And you see, like for instance, I can't sell you beef in a package. You couldn't come to me and buy, you know, a pound of hamburger or a couple T-bone steaks or something. Now, there are people that have went through the paperwork, do have their own label, and you can buy from them. Guy that works for me, Travis Hampton, they do that. But for the most part, you're going to have to find somebody, and you have to buy a half or a quarter or a whole beef on the hoof or hanging meat before it's cut up, and then you can sell it that way. Now, one thing that USDA or government could do is to say, hey, you know, during this time of crisis, I guess you could go ahead and sell meat by the package. You know, we've got meat in our freezer, packaged up, but I can't sell it to you once it's in my freezer, once it's packaged up. There's all kinds of regulations that most of them, like most government regulations, don't make much sense. You know, you have to have your freezer inspected. You can't have it in the same freezer as you have your personal meat. Various things. I don't even know all of them. And then you have to have the inspector come out. Well, they're so far behind. If you started the process today, it would probably be 6 months before you could have your own label and sell meat out of your freezer if you wanted to start today. But you can buy halves, wholes, quarters, and purchase it on the hoof or hanging weight. And once you purchase that way, you pay the processing cost, maybe 70 cents to 80 cents a pound. And time the animal is butchered, you lose about 40%, 38%. That's just gut fill and hide, and then they put it in a package and you lose a little bit more. But when you take your meat home packaged up, you're going to pay about between $4 and $5 a pound. $5 probably being way on the high side. I'd say $4 to $4.50, but depending on how things are cut up and how you want it cut up. So you're going to come out, let's say, paying $4.50 a pound for steaks, roast, hamburger. I mean, you got everything. Now, you might buy hamburger cheaper than that if you catch it on sale sometime, but it won't be as good a hamburger as what you'll get when you buy a quarter or a half. And so, but you'll need a freezer to keep it in. But that's what's going on with the beef industry, guys. Now, I got 5 animals here that I'm feeding out. We've got, I don't remember now, maybe all of them, or at least 4 of them sold. 3 of them will go to slaughter in first part of July, and then a couple more a couple weeks after that. And that's the earliest you can get them in. They're even backed up farther than that now. If you wanted to get something slaughtered, it'd probably be this fall. But, you know, you don't have to get them here. I'm just saying, find somebody, buy beef from them. They'll be happy because they're going to get more money than what they would if they tried to take them to a sale right now because of what's going on with the packing industry. You're going to be happy because you're going to get better quality meat at a cheaper price. I mean, you can't beat that. That's a win-win. So that's what's going on with the beef industry, guys. Hope that was informative. Maybe you already knew a lot of that. But find somebody or email me if you don't know anybody. Maybe I could put somebody in your, guide you towards somebody in your area. There's a lot of beef out there that's being fed right now. So hey, glad you tuned in. Hope it was informative for you. Go buy some beef.